Hello and welcome to our eighth podcast. No.
Yeah, it's number 8.
Eighth podcast.
Henry the Eighth was 7th, and trees is 8th.
Oh yeah, trees. I've even got a laptop with some information about trees.
We're totally professional now.
No, nearly professional. Somebody still hasn't done the work.
Hey, I've been doing some research on that. I can't say it, but you know the one. Liz something.
Oh, Lisbon or something.
Yeah, that one. I've been doing a lot of research on that. Lisbon?
I think that's what it's called, I don't know.
Well, I've been researching it anyway, and I think it's pronounced Lisbon. That's as far as I've got.
That is the number one growing city in Europe.
What, Lisbon?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know where it was. Where is it?
It's in Europe.
Yeah, you don't know, no?
Is it like near Germany or something?
I don't know. They were talking
It sounds
about
a bit
it, and
Germany.
I thought, "Where's Lisbon? I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is." And then the whole
I'm not very good with geography.
well, the whole program, I was just thinking to myself, at some point they're going to mention where Lisbon is. They're going to say what country it's in, but they never did. I thought, oh, I've learned nothing.
Which program was this?
It's Radio 4.
They probably just assume that everyone knows where Lisbon is.
Well, yeah, you would assume that they do. They wouldn't assume people are so stupid they don't know where a capital city is, but I didn't. I was just sitting in the car going, where is this place? It sounds brilliant. They've got a problem with tourism. Terrible.
I've just remembered
What?
where Lisbon is.
Where is it?
It's in Portugal.
That can't be right. That doesn't even sound Portuguese.
It doesn't, does it? I'm going to Google it again because
Yeah, Google
I'm
it.
questioning it now, even though I've just been looking at it on my screen. I didn't really remember it, you see. I Googled it.
It's, anyway, they've got a problem with too many tourists.
Too many tourists.
I think so. Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, look.
They,
Lisbon is in Portugal.
they fill these areas with millions of people, don't they? And it's good for money and everything, but it's not good for...
There you go.
Oh, cool. Oh.
Yeah.
I've been to Portugal. It was quite nice. It's very hot.
What were you doing there? On holiday?
Yeah. That's where I bumped into the bloke with the tons of mosquito bites.
Ah.
Because we went to like somewhere called Albufeira or something like that. There wasn't really much there, though.
I got to apologise. I am really snotty and snivelly, and I think I'm coming down with a cold, so...
You want to eat stuff.
You what?
Eat stuff. Whenever you get a cold, just eat. Just eat as much as you can.
Well, I did have some toast this morning. I don't normally have breakfast, but I did have some toast.
That's not enough, Nadine. Bit of toast. That's not eating.
One was a crust, though.
Whenever
a
I
crust,
start
an
to get a-
crusty bit.
Whenever I start to get a cold, I'll just literally just eat chips just all the time, and then the cold will go away. And I'll also
Does it
drink
take about a week?
a cup of tea with 1/3 of honey. in
Oh,
it.
that reminds me. I was supposed to drink coffee with butter in it. I haven't yet because on Wednesdays
You're slacker, Nadine. You give me the impression that you go, oh yeah, I'll sort out websites, I'll drink coffee with butter. No.
I got myself bitten by mosquitoes, and my legs have still got little purple welts all over them. They still haven't healed up.
Well, that
I don't
doesn't
think they're
sound
ever
appealing.
going to heal up. It's terrible, Rob. I was
Well,
looking at
stop
them this
going
morning
there.
in the
And if you
shower.
don't stop going there, put on some trousers.
No, they're from.
Do you even own any trousers?
No, you know the first lot of mosquito bites I got when my legs were all covered in them. It's those same ones. They haven't healed yet. They're still there. And they just look like little bruises.
Wouldn't it
with
be awful if that was
scars
permanent?
in the middle. I fucking hope not,
It'd
because
be like my love bite.
yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. For listeners, I have a love bite that I've had since I was 12, and I hate it. It won't go away. It's been there for years. I don't know how to get rid of it. There's nothing I can do. People keep saying to me, oh, you should use some concealer on it or something like that, but I'm not putting...
And it does look
Concealer
like
on
somebody
my
was
neck.
sucking on your neck like a week ago.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
terrible.
bright and
I was thinking...
prominent it is.
I thought I might get like a tattoo over it, like a black
You don't want a
tattoo.
tattoo on your neck.
I didn't want a tattoo like of a picture. I just meant colour it in black, and then it would look like a mole or something like that. But
I
then
think
that
that's
might just look
worse.
like a bit of dirt. So then I thought what I might do is I might get a henna tattoo over it, because then it's brown. It might just look like a birthmark.
Well, that's not permanent though, is it?
No, but I've got like... It's quite permanent. It lasts a while.
It's like a couple of weeks and it fades.
Yeah, well, a
quickly.
couple of weeks is better than nothing. I
Well,
mean,
just- you
on the
just
plus side...
continuously do it.
On the plus side, because my skin is so sensitive, I have lots of red marks all about me. So it could just be like another red mark or a burst blood vessel or something like that.
Maybe instead of trying to cover it up, try and make it blend in, then get some other red tattoos put around it, and then it just looks like part of a skin condition.
No, what was that guy? He called it the neck tattoos or the everlasting job stoppers.
Everlasting job stoppers.
I
Love
thought that
it.
was quite good. Because I think all those people with them tattoo necks are going to be shocked at some point when they realise it's not as popular as they thought it was.
No, I don't like neck tattoos. Anything above the collarbone is just too much, in my opinion.
It depends. To me, it's one of two things, isn't it? You either got a neck tattoo because you're doing so well, it doesn't matter, or you're doing so badly that it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You're not in the
or on
middle.
your face.
Yeah, like if you could be a tattooist and have a neck tattoo. That's fine. You're a tattooist. You're doing well. It's part of your
it
thing.
would be weird if you weren't covered in tattoos to some degree if you were a tattoo artist, wouldn't it?
And you'd have to get tattooed by somebody else, wouldn't you? So you might have shit tattoos. It's like that barber thing, isn't it? When you go to a town and there's two barbers and one's got really neat hair, one's got shit hair.
And you go to the one with the shit hair.
Yeah, because his hair is cut.
By the other one. I've heard the same
Yeah.
thing, but it was dentists. Like, two dentists. One's got really bad teeth and one's got really good teeth. Which one do you go to? The one with the bad teeth. Because the one with the good teeth. No, the one with the...
The one with the bad teeth. No, the one with the good teeth. No, hang on.
The good dentist. We go to the good dentist.
That's right.
Yeah.
The one with the bad teeth, because it means that his teeth have been done by the bad dentist.
Yeah. So you go to the one with the bad teeth.
Yeah.
I'm not with it this morning. I know it's not morning, it's afternoon.
Sunday's not so good for me. I'm not in a way mood. I'm in a Sunday mood. Like I got to walk the dog in a bit, and I haven't really got to do anything else. Actually, I got to have a bath and just lie there and go, ooh, my leg.
You still got the pain in your leg, have you, Rob?
It's still going, still ongoing.
So what have you been doing this week?
I put a patch on my leg, and it made it not hurt so much. I was really surprised because I was popping all these pills and becoming like a bit confused in the day, and I put this patch on it, and it just numbed it, and it was fine. I played yesterday, and it was fine. It was alright. I was really impressed. So, but I think they only last like 12 hours or something like that, and then you have
just
to
put
stick
another one on.
Well, I suppose so, but I mean, you've got to do it, haven't I? I haven't done it yet. I've only just got up. I had some sausages, made some hair for my daughter's angel model. Stuff that you do on a Sunday.
What did you make the hair out of?
Wool.
Huh.
Yeah, she wants to make animation models.
Oh.
So I got to go and buy aluminium wire and all this kind of crap. And then the next
that
stage
Miller
after
Putty
that.
stuff? Have you
No,
got
it
some
just
of that?
means after that, the next stage she'll be like, oh no, I want to animate them, Daddy. And you're like, oh, I just don't have the time for this. I've got the time to do it on my own. So, and I had a haircut.
I was certainly going to mention the haircut.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it.
I've never seen you with such neat hair.
No, I know. But
Because for people listening, Rob used to have very long hair, and that's how I met him, and he had long hair for ages, and then he came into work one day, and he just chopped it all off, and it was really surprising, and everybody was like, oh my god, Rob's chopped his hair off.
Yeah.
And now he's not only has he chopped it off, but it's been done
But
professionally. You've gone to the barber with the shit hair this time.
I used to have brilliant hair. Up until I was about 30, I had brilliant hair. It was like thick, and it was in ringlets, like those Jews, those Hasidic Jew people, and they've got those curls that come down the side.
Yeah.
It was all like that. And then as I started getting older, it started getting worse. And then eventually it started to thin, and I was like, oh, I can't have long hair now. And it spoiled everything. And then my daughter cut it off with one snip. She just pulled it up in one thing and cut it off. And then I had crusty haircuts for a while, which was basically me waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror and go, there's a bit of a tuft there. I'll cut that off. I'll cut a snip out of that as well. And then
It was an eccentric do.
I don't want to be an eccentric. It's very hard to suppress it. It's hard to keep it in, but you still let it out and people are still aware. But I was going to leave the top quite long, but then I did look mad. I looked like Willy Wonka or something, so I thought I'd better cut it. And now I look like I'm in the army or something.
You don't look like you're in the army.
I do, and I need
Super army soldier.
Yeah, I look like I've come out of the army for a bit. And then somebody will say,
Is that
hey,
why
why do you
you've got a
take
pain in your leg?
Yeah, that's why people say, hey, take those 6 layers of t-shirts off. You're not muscly at all. And I go, I know. I didn't pretend I was in the army. You just assumed I was because I wear a lot of clothes and I have this haircut.
I like the haircut. What does
just
Jill think of the haircut?
She's, she likes me.
Aww.
Doesn't care what I look like, which is good because, as we get older, and I look more and more minging as time goes on.
Well, I like the haircut. I've never seen you with such neat hair.
Yeah. Yeah, not good, is it? Anyway, so we got nothing to clear up from last week. We must have been exceptional last week. Must have said everything spot on, like proper factmeister people.
We're getting better at the facts.
Yeah.
Here are all the thoughts and things that have happened to us since last week in a section we like to call thoughts and things that have happened to us since last week's section.
What have you been up to this week? Oops.
I had my hair cut.
I know.
Anything else happen? In work, they've put me into that coaching thing, so things get harder now, so it might not be as pleasant as it was before.
Happy fun time is over.
Yeah, yes, getting harsher now. And I don't think I did anything. What did I tell you if I had any thoughts. What thoughts did I have?
Did you write them on a napkin again?
I did, I wrote, because that's all I got in the car. Oh yeah, I thought, wouldn't it be weird, here's a thought, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be weird if people thought that drowning was as bad as burning? Because if it was, then hell would just be like a big water area, wouldn't it? You'd be underwater all the time. They wouldn't say things like, oh, you're burning hell forever, burning on your skin, burning all the time. They'd say, you'll be surrounded by water, swimming all day, drowning, perpetually drowning all the time. So I thought that was weird as a thought. I thought in a parallel universe they might have that, you know. And then Neptune, he'd look like Satan, wouldn't he? He's got a trident as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Be in the sea. So maybe yeah, so maybe we've got it wrong. What else have I thought of?
You'll be drowning in hell for all eternity.
Hey, have I thought of anything else? Oh yeah, this is a controversial one.
Ooh.
Well, it's not hard to be controversial. If anything, it's hard to keep it down. But this whole thing now about men's suicide awareness and all that, it's beginning to annoy me.
Why?
Because people are talking like there's nothing wrong with the world. Like they just want men to cry and break down all over the place and be all feely and tell them everybody their feelings and stuff like that. As if doing that. I don't understand that the only help is empathy. You know, like if I'm in a puddle of shit and I'm not happy about it, but I'm not crying because obviously that would make it harder to get out of the puddle of shit. I'm not allowing that to happen, yeah? And then somebody will come over and they tell me that they too know how it feels to be in a puddle of shit. And you're like, well, there you go, brilliant. I don't feel any better. I'm still in this puddle of shit. Are you going to get me out of the puddle of shit? Oh, I'm afraid I can't do that. Well then, what benefit is this? Yeah, but why don't you have a bit of a cry about it so that you're fully aware of the pile of shit you're in, and you'll feel better. You go, I don't think I will. You know, I don't understand what they're saying. They're trying to get all these men to break down all over the place and say their feelings.
I think the point of that is that it should be okay for men to feel okay having a cry.
I don't think it is, because at the end of the day, when one man is having a cry, another man is thinking, I'll be able to fleece this crying man. It's not like when you start crying, loads of other men look around you and go, oh, he's crying, I better not rip him off, or I better not mug him. They just go, oh, look, there's a guy crying, he'll be easier to mug. I'm sure he'll be easier to rip off. So I don't think they keep talking about these things like there's some sort of person in charge that has decided that men don't cry, and the reason why men don't cry and the reason why they don't share their feelings is because of some omnipotent sort of invisible, you know, rule that men are just too afraid to break. Oh, men don't cry, therefore I don't cry. So like that, rather than there are real life consequences to just blubbing all over the place. Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand. Unless you're gonna, if you can't fix the problem, then there's no use crying about it.
That's true.
So I don't understand. So all these people that are offering empathy all over the place, you just go, I don't need your empathy.
I'm not very good with empathy anyway.
Oh, you know, like, you know, it's nice. Some things are nice to have empathy. You fall over and scratch your knee and somebody goes, oh, that's horrible. You go, yeah, you feel a bit better, yeah? But for actual problems that would actually make you cry or sit in depression or, you know, drink until you're dead, then I don't understand how empathy works. You know, it's like, I don't understand why people think that it will work. Women who are employed by the council to come in and talk to you. Oh, there are lots of people that want to commit suicide. Don't do that. Here are the facts. Here are the percentages. Oh, brilliant. Have you solved my problem at all? No, we can't solve your problem, obviously. But I'm going to come around next week and you can have a bit of a cry, or I can encourage you to cry. It just seems rubbish. Like, so I'm not.
I've never been in that position, so I don't really know. I have no personal experiences with anything like that.
Oh, you've been in a playground, haven't you?
Yeah.
If there's one boy crying, he's probably going to get a kicking. And that's not because of the invisible law. That's just because lots of other boys who aren't in the mood for crying, right, who are in the mood for football, have decided this blubbing fool is stopping the football or making the football harder to do, or is just annoying them whilst they're playing football because of his loud crying. He's going to get beaten up. He's better off getting good at football or doing something else which just stops him crying. That was my thought. Anyway, another one.
So you haven't actually done anything this week. You've just been writing down your thoughts on napkins.
Oh, I did it. I did. Yeah, I haven't got time to do shit anymore.
The jingle does go, these are the thoughts and things that happened
thoughts
to us
and things.
since last week. So.
Here's another thoughts. Here are more thoughts, because all I do is sit in a car park now.
With napkins.
People walk like ducks. There's a lot of people that walk like ducks, where as they walk, the heel of their foot hits the floor, and then it sort of folds forward, like as if they're wearing clown feet.
Alright.
I find that really odd. I'm watching a lot of people walk. It's making me think of, do you remember that programme in the 80s with that Liverpool girl and the bloke on a bike? He's a bit like Wallace and Gromit. I can't remember what it was called. Watching, maybe? He falls in love with this girl who's a bit of a rebel, and he's a bit of a nerd. And they do
rebel and a nerd?
Yeah, and they do people watching.
Right.
It's the classic sort of thing, like Lethal Weapon. There's one old black cop, and there's one young white cop. One's tired, one's up for aggro.
And one's about to retire.
Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing. But they people watch. But yeah, that's what I was doing, just watching how people walk.
I like people watching.
I just find, well, I'm only in the car, so I'm watching them walk past. I'm just watching the way they walk. Some people walk like ducks. Some people walk like those magnet people, where they move their leg forward, and then their foot hits the ground, and then it's like it's magnetized, and then they move the top part of their body, and then they do the same with their leg. So I've been watching that. I've been watching women walk past in heels. Not all women can walk in heels.
No, it's a real skill.
It's not even a skill. It's just to look sort of, you've got the heels on that try and make you look elegant, but then you walk like I don't know, like you got broken legs, and you go, oh, that can't be good. How are you walking like that? So
it ruins the whole illusion and the whole effect if you just can't walk in them. Do you remember when I started wearing heels, and I got bigger and bigger and bigger, the heels?
Yeah.
And, I got all right. I mean, I can cope with a small heel now, and I can walk. My feet don't feel like they're about to kill me.
it's how you look when you're wearing them. If you look like you're stomping around, it just looks really bizarre. So those are the things I noticed in the car park. The other thing I noticed in the car park, I might have tales from the car park.
A whole section.
Yeah, a whole section.
Rob's
I don't
tales
understand.
from the car park.
I don't understand, right? There's people, and loads of people do this, they drop their wife off or their husband off, and then they swap seats in the car. I don't understand who's so concerned about driving that they need to swap their seats. Like, if my wife was going to give me a lift to work in my car,
Yeah.
I wouldn't drive to work, then get out, and then she would take over driving. She could just drive the whole way. What do I give a shit for? Why have I got to... I must drive my car. This is my car, and I will drive it until I'm no longer able to drive it, and then I will give the controls to you. What would be the point in that? And they all do it. So I don't see...
That's a bit weird.
Well, it is a bit weird, but everybody does it. There's nobody that... they all come in and they all stop the car and they both get out and they swap sides, and then you just think that's pointless. I've also seen a lot of young women going out with old men. So they pull up in their car and there's like a woman and she's like, I don't know, 30 or something, and then some 60-year-old or 50-year-old man gets out and you think, is that your partner? He's 60 years old. Why have you done that? So somebody will say, well, it might be their dads. It's unlikely, though, when they're kissing them and things before they go into work. Go, you're kissing this old man.
Age is just a number, Rob.
Well, you say that. It's just probably one of them rebellious girls that when they were younger, they're like, 16, and they're going out with like a 28-year-old because he's so cool and he's got a car and he's got a house and everything like that. And, blah, 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 blah. And now all of a sudden, you're with a 55-year-old man.
Yeah.
So
But,
I noticed that in the car park. There was a swan in the car park.
Well, it's quite close to the lake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of excitement.
Did they just leave the swan to it, or did they...
There's a woman in work who's got an electric car, so when everybody else is fighting for parking spaces, she's got a permanent parking space.
Is there an electric car charger thing?
Yeah, so
That's
she must...
clever. That's
Yeah,
a
she
good
must...
strategy.
Every morning I look at her and I think, oh, you must feel very smug with all these people driving around in circles trying to find a car parking space, and you just pull up at whatever time you start work, slip straight into your electric bay, because
Is
there's
there
no
only
other
one?
parking. What?
Is there only one?
True.
Well, why don't you just park in one and pretend to be charging your car? Just put the charger thing in your petrol thing.
Because I don't think anybody would think my car that's covered in green moss has come out of a field with a guitar lead hanging out of the side of it, sort of secreted behind the box. Wow, it's an electric car. And look, it's 20 years old. Oh, them Japanese are ahead of their time.
Well, what you could do is just pretend like you converted it. So, very, very conscious of the environment. So instead of buying a new electric car, like her, what a waster, I converted my old car into an electric car, and now I'll park here, thank you. Because they've got electric car parking things at Tesco's. And I was thinking, well, I might park in one of those, because it doesn't say, if you don't have an electric car, don't park here. And
what kind of thinking is that? I'm going to park here by the air machine, because it doesn't say if I don't want air, I can't park here.
But, if you're worried, you can always, put a thing in you can always pretend to be charged.
I think you'd fool anybody. Some interested bloke would come out, like a security guard. What's this then? What, you converted your car, have you? Oh, that's clever, isn't it? Let me have a look. How do you do it? I've always wondered how to do it. Well, you get this guitar lead, right? And you stick it in this crack, like, make it look that way. Well, I don't think you can do that. You're not allowed to smoke in the car parking work either.
Are you allowed to smoke in your car in the car park?
No.
Where are you supposed to go for a cigarette?
It's these designated smoking areas.
Oh my god, they're so strict, aren't they? There's rules for
so
everything.
Unnecessarily strict as well. So that's another thought. So that's my thoughts from the car park. I had any other thoughts? I paid £17.60 for fags this week. That blew me away.
What, for one packet?
Yeah.
One packet of cigarettes?
Well, it's 50 grams of tobacco. So,
that's quite big, isn't it?
Well, it's not that big.
Is it just a regular big pouch that you would get from?
Yeah. And they used to cost
£17?
No, I know, it blew me away. Because I took out a tenner, and he went, "Oh, £17." I went, ha ha ha. He went, "No, £17."
Wow, smoking is so expensive now.
I know. So I've got so I've started hooking up a network now around other people. Like my brother-in-law, he goes to Saudi. You can buy fags in Saudi for it's about £4, I think. So I'm going to get him to bring back millions of them. Start stocking up my death cupboard again. And I've also started planning out in my house how I'm going to grow tobacco plants.
Yeah.
Around the side, and I'm going to cure them in the attic.
Can you grow them outside?
Yeah. Mark did it. Yeah, they're not hard to grow; they're hard to cure. But once I get the hang of it, I'll be rolling around in tobacco kneading. It'd be amazing. Be rubbing it on myself. People be coming around going, "Do I had to pay £17 for tobacco?" And I'd be like, "Really?" Because I made 18 ounces. It'd be brilliant. I had another idea, but then I decided that it probably wasn't the best idea.
What was the idea?
I thought you could have like a little button in your clothes with speakers sort of built in, like you wear this thing in your clothes, yeah? It's got speakers in it. And then when you die, you press this button, or maybe it works like an airbag where it's connected in some way to your pulse, and then when your pulse stops, it just starts playing death music. So you can select your death music. So I'd quite like to die. Say I was in a car crash, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm dead." And then I'd lie there, and then all of a sudden it would start playing that end bit of Layla. Ding, da, 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 ding, da, 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 da. Oh, hang on, that's not Layla, is it? That's...
I don't know, but it does sound like the closing credits on something.
You know in Goodfellas, where they show all those people that bought fur coats and stuff and they're all dead, that music. Da 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 da. People just standing around looking melancholy at me as I'm dead in the position. And I thought that'd be quite good as a thing. So you'll have death music, but then I thought it'd be bad because then, like, say it was connected to the internet as all stuff would. Then, like, say those kids in London that are stabbing each other, they stab them, and then when their death music came on, it was like something cool that they thought was good. They Bluetooth it, wouldn't they? They put the Spice Girls on or something like that. And they go, "Ah ha ha! Look at him! He's dead, and the Spice Girls is playing. Ah ha!" Or Mr. Tumble music, or something from CBeebies, like Teletubbies. Did you see Dean when he got stabbed? It was terrible. It wasn't terrible. Ha ha! He was listening to the Teletubbies. We stabbed him. Ha ha ha! East London 17 or whatever it is.
I don't think death music clothing is going to be a big thing.
We say that now, don't he? But
I'll say it in a week as well.
Right.
You know what? I'll say it next year.
It might take longer than a week to catch on, but I think it'd be good if it's just connected to you. It might be in your watch with a speaker, The speakers wouldn't be loud enough to create any kind of ambience. And that's really what you want. So you probably have to, like, if you see them speakers that you can connect to a window and then it uses the window as like a speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you could do that as you die and you go, alright, gotta get the death music so everybody can hear.
Yeah, you know what? You should take that onto Dragon's Den. See how
I
much
wouldn't take it to
investment-
Dragon's Den. I wouldn't give them the satisfaction. Rich bastards. Oh, I don't think that'll work, and for that reason, I'm out. I'm like, oh, you smug rich fool.
Why do they always have the money on the tables next to them?
I don't even think it's real money.
No, I don't think it is either. But I just think it's really weird that it's like they've come on begging for this money, and they're just sat there with little piles of it, almost like they're going to set it on fire. I don't even need this money.
I think people are watching I only watch Dragon's Den in the same way that I used to watch Tomorrow's World. Do you remember Tomorrow's World? Is that what it's called? Yeah. And because you just want to see what inventions people have come up with or what new stuff is. I'm not watching it from the position that there's 5 important people. Well, what are the important people going to say about the things? Are they going to give them their money? I don't give a shit about that. You just want to see what somebody's brought on. Hello, I've brought on a space hopper, except this space hopper hops on its own. And you go, wow, invest in that. And then they go, I'm not going to invest in that because the markets, because you haven't done your sums and you don't know how to add, then I'm not going to invest and I'm out. You just think, oh, cockhead, why don't you buy a space hopper that bounces itself? I just want to see them. Why isn't there a program like Tomorrow's World anymore? Nearest thing is the Gadget Show, isn't it? And then there's like 5 BBC presenters running around doing little challenges. I'm going to fly a drone from over here to the other side of the field, and Kevin is going to fly a drone from that side of the field to over here, and we'll see which one gets there first.
Like, fuck that, I don't want to watch that.
That is what the Gadget Show
I
is
don't
like.
like stuff like that. I just want to be like,
And then it takes them 20 minutes to show you what you might win if you enter
yeah,
the...
they just drag
with
stuff
this,
out.
you with this, you with this, you with this, and bikes, and you're like, what would I even, if I won that and it got delivered to my house, what would I even do with a lorry full of tech stuff? Half of the stuff I've either already got or don't want. I don't want an iMac.
They're just forcing you to sit on eBay and sell it and package crap up, and I just want to see stuff. Just want to see somebody's ideas. I tell you what would be a good program. It's lucky nobody listens to us, so they steal this, right? It'd be like
you shouldn't have told them about your death music clothing.
It's like if they went, if they just had like a show just showing the most recent patents or the best patents that had happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So somebody patents something, and whether it's going to work or not, it doesn't matter. It just means that it's patented, and somebody came up with the idea to do that.
That might be a good show, actually.
Yeah, of course it would.
Yeah.
All my ideas are brilliant, apart from them expandable wellies.
They'd already been done
And
anyway.
that plug.
And the death music clothing.
No, that's pretty good. I like that.
Nah, it's not. It's not going to be a big thing.
Oh, well, you say that, but there's a lot of people dying now. You don't want to be discovered with no music, do you? What kind of
really
vibe will
care.
that put out?
I don't know, a regular one. I don't care if music doesn't play when I die.
Well, you say that now, but when you're dying, you want to hear some like melancholy music that symbolises how brilliant your life was and what a tragedy it is that you're dead.
Oh, you know what? You know what my music's going to be?
I want to see the sunshine after the
No,
rain.
the theme song for Cheers.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
That'd be brilliant, because you'd be standing there looking at your dead body going, oh, all she wanted was for people to know her name, and now she's been stabbed in the neck because she...
Why have I been stabbed in the
I
neck?
don't
Why
know,
do you
that's-
get to die in a car crash and I get stabbed in the neck?
Have you seen that Bohemian Rhapsody? That's supposed to be
No,
good.
I really want to go see that.
I don't
but
even
haven't
like
seen it
Queen,
yet.
and I might go and see that.
I want to go see it. It looks really good. I like Queen.
Queen just makes you think of gladiators.
Why? Oh, because of the We Will Rock You thing.
It's not just the We Will Rock You. All of the music in Gladiators was Queen.
Was it?
Yeah, it was We Will
Can't
Rock You, and
remember.
it was We Are the Champions, and
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that. It's all those songs, so they just sound like gladiator songs to me. The only Queen song I like is Friends Will Be Friends.
My favourite two are I Want to Break Free and Somebody to Love.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there are some good Queen songs in there, but I just don't like them as a group.
I like Queen.
Yeah, loads of people do, don't they?
Yeah.
They're much more popular now than they ever were, I think. Do you know in Live Aid, which is that big deal about
Yeah.
Queen? Do you know the only person whose sales didn't increase after Live Aid?
Who?
Who do you think that is? Guess.
Queen.
No, they became huge after Live Aid.
I don't know who else was involved. Wham.
No, Wham at Live Aid.
I don't know. I don't know who
Adamant.
was involved. Adamant.
Yeah.
I like Adamant.
You know why his sales didn't increase after Live Aid?
Is it because he wore a similar jacket to Freddie Mercury?
No, it's because he was the only artist at Live Aid that played new songs. And everybody else played their back catalogue.
Yeah.
And Adamant came on with his new stuff, and nobody likes new music. Everybody wants to hear the songs they already know, and that's apparently why.
I'm so gross today. I'm sorry.
I still think
Just
Adamant
sit
would be
here
amazing
sniffling
if that wouldn't have happened.
It was a bad move. It was a bold move, but it was
There's
a bad
loads
move.
of brilliant Adamant stuff that you haven't heard.
Oh, there's probably loads that I haven't heard.
Adamant in the beginning used to slash himself up with a bottle on stage.
Why?
Yeah, because it was part of that whole punk area. So, but
I
then
thought it
as
was more like New Romantics.
but then as that became more fast, he toned it all down. But that's what he used to do when they first started.
I didn't know that.
No, I know.
That's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's loads of good Adamant songs. You'd be surprised.
I would be surprised.
Yeah, so I might go and see Bohemian Rhapsody. Maybe I'll go to the View. Have you been to the View in the day? It's brilliant. There's nobody there.
Yeah, I've been to the View and the Odeon on several occasions.
Oh yeah, but in the View, you just turn up. There's nobody there, and you walk in, and you don't pay anything, and you just walk to the theatre that you want. You sit down.
But you'll have to find out which screen it's in.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I'll be able to manoeuvre signs.
Huh?
What does this say? Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, which one could it be in? Oh, it says Screen 4.
It
Could
doesn't
it be
tell
Screen
you what
4?
screen it's on until you get your ticket.
No, it doesn't. This is on the signs. There's signs on the wall.
No, there isn't.
And there.
No, it
How
says,
did I find Judge Dredd?
I don't know. Maybe you just walk straight in.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I go to the View. Just walk straight in. You just
Yeah,
go.
but you don't know which screen it's in because it's only printed on your ticket. They don't advertise what screen is playing what film.
So you're saying that I just got lucky. I picked a screen and it happened to have it. Well, lucky guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll do that for Bohemian Rhapsody. I just quite like the fact that there's nobody there. When I watched Judge Dredd, I was on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the point where I moved seats like 4 times because I had all the options. It's like, maybe I'll sit here. Maybe there's a better space. I'll move back a bit.
I'd quite like to go to the cinema one day and find the one person sat on their own. You know, when it's really quiet and there is like people just sat on their own, and just go sit right next to them in the empty theatre and just see if they move.
Yeah, the thing is, people don't understand jokes like that, do they? Like I was next to him when I was in work, because you're facing each other and there's a screen above you. You can only really see the tops of their eyes. So I had to stop myself. I wanted to look at them above the screen and just wink and do like eyebrow moves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I thought that would have been hilarious, but they wouldn't have found that hilarious.
No, they would have thought, oh, the guy that nicks the biscuits is proper creepy.
Yeah. Well, I've only nicked the biscuits once, and I give them back. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know how they live over there. No, I wish we were all poor. I'm looking forward to Brexit when we're all poor. It's going to be brilliant.
I'm
like
not
the
looking
70s
forward to
again.
Brexit.
Be like the 70s where they've got like a 3-day week and they can't afford to keep the electricity on, and everybody's a bit bummed out but quite happy in a sort of full Monty northern British film kind of way. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm not.
Have you got any work? No work about. Oh, let's just go and hang around in the park. But we're 40. Yeah, but we're skinned. Come on, let's go. Have you got any drugs? No. I tell you what, why don't we spin around in a circle for a while, holding our breath? Yeah, it's gonna be brilliant.
Did you ever watch Peep Show?
Yeah.
There's an episode where they do that Christian rock festival and they're not allowed to drink or drugs or anything, and Super Hans, to try and get a high, he puts his head down really low and stands up really quickly. So
Ooh, it's a rush.
Super Hans is the best character in that show.
Yeah, so it might be like that. It might be brilliant. And all these people talking about it's going to be awful. It might be brilliant. Maybe like when your parents lose their jobs and you all have to sit in one room because it's too cold to go into the rest of the house, and you get that family bonding time, don't you? We've benefited, even though we've lost loads of money. Oh, the TV's gone off, we've run out of electricity. We'll have to play a board game. We're benefiting, we're playing together. It might be like that. I do hope it is.
I mean, we play a lot of board games anyway at home. Reese is really good at Connect 4, like ridiculously good. Yeah, it's surprising me so much recently with how clever he is.
Yeah, but you honestly, you're his mum, innit you? and you don't have any other children, so you
I've
don't.
got 2 children.
Yeah, but you don't have any other children of that age. So when you look at something that's come out of your stomach and it's good at Connect 4, you're just like, oh my god, this thing's gonna rule the world.
There is a little element of, oh my god, I made him. Look how amazing he is. I mean, literally, I think everything that they do is brilliant. George is a bit of a dick, though. You know, he's got this speech impediment, right, and he can't talk, and he's had loads and loads of speech therapy. He's 5, by the way. He's now getting really good at talking. Like, he can say things, and people will understand him now. Like, random strangers will understand what he's saying. And we were in Starbucks, and there was a fat kid in there, right, with his dad. And he was pretty portly. He might have been a little bit older than Reese. He was probably about 8 or 9 tops, right? And he had to move a table to get out of his seat, and he was sat, like, near us. And as he stood up, George went like this, he looked at him, and he went, wow, so fat. And I said, oh no, he was, like, clear as day. And I said, you little fucking shitbag.
Did you say anything to him?
Who?
You.
To George?
Yeah.
No, because he was fat.
Oh, that's not good parenting. You can't let your...
I was trying not to laugh, Rob.
That's terrible.
And then when we went to the cinema to watch The Grinch, right, George doesn't like going in things on his own. Like, you know, like he went to the toilet, right, and he didn't want to go in the cubicle by himself. He wanted me to go in with him, so because he don't like me by himself. So I went in with him, and I was just stood there, right, while he had a wee. And he started going, oh, Mum, I don't want to look at your bum. And I was like, what? And I was just stood there going, shut up. And he was going, oh, Mum, bum's smelly. I'm like, you little dick, stop it. And he thought it was hilarious, and he was like grinning because he knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh, so you don't?
And it was really embarrassing.
You don't like it when he points out your bum, but you don't mind him pointing out some poor fat child.
My bum wasn't even in the scene.
Do you know when
I was stood by the wall, fully clothed, just waiting for him to have a wee. He did it just to embarrass me because he could.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger and realising that people who have something wrong with them, they walk away, and even though they're in your life for a brief second, they walk away and they're like that forever. And that had a big effect on me when I realised that. I'm sure I should have realised that earlier when I was like 5 or something, but I didn't realise it until I was
So
about
what
20.
should I have said to George? Why was that bad parenting to not respond to it?
Because you should have said, you can't say that, stop saying that, otherwise we'll start pointing out your terrible speech and blah, 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 blah. And then he would have been all like, my words have terrible consequences. And that poor fat kid that's walking away feeling all terribly fat, I would feel like that if somebody was to do that about my speech impediment, which they might well do in the future. Because that fat kid, he walks away, and even though it's like a brief second in your life that he was, there's a fat kid, and he walks away, he's still fat. He gets up the next day, he's still fat. And the stuff that is said to him will be continuously said to him, won't it? You know, if you've got like a terribly massive nose, and you see if somebody walks past, they've got a huge nose, and you go, oh, look at your hooter, and then ha 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 ha. But then every day they wake up with that massive nose, and every day somebody who thinks they're funny is going to have a go at their nose. This is just continuous for their entire life. You're giving them like a cross to bear. I think it's terrible. I didn't think it was terrible until I was about 20, man. I didn't really realise. But I remember thinking that and just thinking, oh my God, that never goes away for those people. That's there for their entire life. That's the thing that... So,
but if being fat bothers you, you can do something about that.
You keep saying that, but lots of people can't. They haven't got any willpower.
Well, that's their fault.
Well, yeah, but it might well be their fault.
I'm not saying we should walk around going, you're fat, you've got a big nose, you're ugly, your hair's shit, your shoes are shit. I'm not saying we should walk around doing that, but...
Why'd you point at my shoes? I dyed them.
I didn't. I pointed over there at some random corner of the drum.
No,
your shoes are lovely, by the way.
I think that people should just be left alone. And if you want to be fat, be fat. And if you want to be on drugs, be on drugs. And in the same way that they say about rich people. If you want to be a go-getter, if you want to be clever, if you want to make a difference in the world, everybody applauds that. I don't give a shit. If you want to be fat and you want to sit in bed all day and watch TV, brilliant. I don't care either.
But if you wanted to be fat, right, and then you were in Starbucks and someone said, "Oh, you're fat," you'd be like, "Yeah, boy."
Yeah, but you might not want to be fat, and it might just be a consequence of you wanting to eat a lot of cake. You know, and you're like, I like cake so much, I'm prepared to take on this fatness.
Can't have both. Anyway,
you can have it all. It's just people feel like, you know, they're being beaten. I'm beating that guy. He's fat and I'm not, therefore I win. I shall tell him over and over again how he should be more like me. Be more like me, fatty. That's what they're saying. I don't think that's cool.
Well, I didn't say anything because I was trying not to laugh. I think if I'd have pointed and laughed and gone, yes, George, he is very fat, that would have been...
still tell him off. Otherwise, you'll be gutted. If
imagine
if he goes to school and loads of people start ripping into him because he can't speak. You'd be devastated. You'd be like, who's having a go at my tiny little wonderful man that I made out of my stomach, who's actually so cute and loving and brilliant, and people have put him into one-dimensional line of the boy that can't speak properly, and nobody's given him any other chances for anything else because he can't speak properly. And one day he actually says, "Borse" instead of horse, and they remember that until he's 17. Yeah, that's who they know. And they give him the nickname Borse. And that's, you just think, oh, that's terrible. And then as a parent, you should stop him. You go, but that's not your place to say, George. You know, he may be fat, it's nothing to do with you, is it? Shut up and drink your latte. Learn to talk, right, before you start.
Oh, he's lovely though, he's George. Everyone who meets George loves him because he's just brilliant.
Well, they haven't seen his terrible side, have they? They haven't seen his awful side. As soon as he's able to talk, you might think he's lovely, and all these people coming over going, "Oh, George, lovely brother." Then they walk away and he goes, "Fat shit." And you go, "Oh,
what's he like?"
He's not the lovely child I thought he was. It was all in his head. He just couldn't express it. When he was saying blub, 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 he was actually saying, "Get these pricks out of my house." Look at him, he's trying to speak. Blub, 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 blub.
He's so cute though. He's lush. So I avoided Black Friday. I didn't go mad buying big TVs and fighting in shops because that's ridiculous. I did go into town on Black Friday. I went to the haberdashery stall in the market for some little embroidery hoops.
What is a haberdashery?
They sell like thread and twine and needles and, you know, like sewing-y bits of kit. There used to be a shop in Swansea called Sewer's World, and it was just a massive haberdashery, and they sold all kinds of stuff. Ooh. And it closed a few years back, which is a bit gutting. But the haberdashery stall in the market is really good. It's small, but it is packed full of almost anything that you could think of, and it's ridiculously cheap as well. I'm so sorry that I'm gross today. I just keep sniffling and I'm disgusting. What else have I done this week? I went for coffee on Wednesday with the boys because that's our thing now. And George suddenly really loves mashed potato, and I don't know why he keeps asking for mashed potato.
Because it's brilliant. Everybody loves mashed potato.
Bodger did, and Badger. No, it was Badger that loved mashed potato, wasn't it?
That's right. No, I like mashed potato. Well, I like all of them comfort foods. In actual fact, I don't understand why you wouldn't eat anything that's not a comfort food. I want to be comforted. Brilliant. Because I don't eat.
Have you ever eaten kale? That's not a comfort food. That shit is nasty.
That. I'm
it's horrible.
Quite happy to die when I die. I want to spend my whole time eating kale or something like that, trying to stay alive or trying to be a bit healthier or whatever.
It's minging his kale.
Nah, fuck that.
It's gross.
I stopped because I've stopped eating in the day now. It's brilliant. I've had this whole new thing where I'm starting to look forward to food.
Yeah?
Yes, I never had that before because I don't give a shit about food. But now I'll be sitting at like 3 p.m. I'll be sitting around going, oh, when I get home, I'm going to make sausages and gravy and mash. And maybe I'll have farro peas. Maybe I won't have any gravy. No, I'll have gravy. And I do this in my head. I sit there going, at some point I'm going to be eating these sausages and mash. Which is good.
I want sausage and mash now.
Yeah. See how easy it is.
Oh, you know. Well, I'm trying to eat a bit better as far as like cutting out carbs and stuff. Not completely, but I really want to.
Carbs. Do you see that study? Carbs make you live longer.
I don't want any of them then.
You see that other study? I've been reading other things. Apparently, the Earth takes in a load of water, way more than they thought it was. I can't remember. It was called trilogram or something, and it's like 1,000 kilograms make up 1 trilogram. If that's what it's called, it might not be. It definitely begins with T though. And the Earth takes in something like 300 or 3,000 trilograms of water.
What do you mean
every year?
In?
It's like imagine there's a hole going into the Earth.
All right, and the water's just
pulls all this water through.
From where? Like from the
something
ground?
to do with tectonic plates moving.
Yeah. So where's it going?
Just into the Earth. I don't know how it works. They don't quite know where it goes.
Maybe it's going straight into the middle and it's putting out the big ball of magma in the middle and it's just going out slowly and then we're going to freeze.
You ever see that study where they reckon some crazy people on, I have to say crazy, but I have no idea, that they reckon that the Earth is growing?
No.
It's getting bigger and bigger and nobody's admitting it. I don't know why they wouldn't be admitting it. Maybe it's because it...
Is it happening?
I don't know. It might not be happening. But they reckon that the Earth started off as like a ball of land, and as it gets bigger and bigger, all the land is becoming separated, and that's why all these plates are moving.
Well,
because they looked at they looked at the sea in between the countries.
And it's getting wider.
Well, that's what they reckon. But they reckon that what do they say? That the land in the middle at the bottom is younger than the land by the countries. Yeah, maybe I should research that. Well, then it gives us something to clear up next week, doesn't it? I'll have a look at that. But
it sounds like nonsense, but
everything sounds like nonsense until they prove it to be correct. You know, I read the other day they were talking about by 2030 or something like that, they're going to put chemtrails in the sky to stop UV lights. What? And they said that as like a positive thing, like they're going to do this to for the weather conditions. And everybody laughs at chemtrails and says, "Oh, that's madness. That's crazy. What government would be doing that to their people? Blah blah blah. It's insane." Da 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 da. And then now they're saying it like, "Oh, I guess this is going to happen in 2030. It's going to be for all of our benefits to stop UV pollution or whatever." So I reckon most things that you hear about, they're only 50 years away from becoming true. Remember they used to? Did you know this? They used to put lead in petrol and it went into the air.
No, why did they put lead in petrol?
Of course they put lead in petrol for whatever reason they put it in, but they didn't realise the effect that it would have on the world and what people were breathing in, that they were breathing in lead and stuff. So, you know...
What effect did it have?
It killed loads of people. You can't inhale lead. And the other thing where they put radiation in toothpaste, and they even sold it as like a plus, like, oh, this will make your teeth really white. But that's crazy, isn't it? And imagine somebody saying, oh, radiation in toothpaste, you're all going to die. Oh, you're crazy. You and your conspiracy theories.
And like Rob from Friends. Not Rob from Friends, Ross from Friends. When he gets his teeth whitened and then he goes, who's got a black light? It's 1998, whatever he says, when his teeth are glowing.
It's just bizarre. All these things. These people that... I read a brilliant phrase the other day. It was called secular blasphemy.
That sounds good. What does it mean?
It basically means, like, imagine we're in this 1300s and people are talking about God and they're telling you off for not doing what God would want or whatever, yeah? It's exactly the same now, except it's all science-based, except nobody's checked any of the science. They're just relying on the faith of scientists that have discovered it. They're saying, this is this, and you're stupid for thinking that, and you're stupid for thinking this. But they've got no actual science. Bad thing, so I don't understand. You know, I thought it was good, secular blasphemy. It's loads of people walking around saying, you know, if you knew this, then you'd know this. And you go, you just read it out of a book. You haven't checked it out. You've got no idea whether that's the actual case or not. You don't know who made that book or where it's come from or who's funded it or what it benefits or anything.
Yeah, finding out who funded a study is always quite important.
Yeah. I tell you what we should do next week with we should do cannabis. Because I quite like those handy facts, and then maybe we should do religion as well. We should do, because like we'd do some trees now, and there'll be interesting facts, but they're not facts that you could then arm you against somebody. Like if you condense all those facts about cannabis, then you know them, don't you? When you get into an argument with somebody, like why was cannabis banned and what does it do? You know, like if you plant cannabis in a field that's barren, it makes it fertile again. Did you know that? No. With cannabis, you can make...
did you fact check that, or did you just...
No, this is true. Yes, facts. Yeah.
How do you know it's true?
Because I read it from numerous books when I was interested in it. Yeah. They...
Who wrote those books? Who funded the books? Who funded the studies behind them?
Yeah, but well then, if you're going to go like that, I'll do all of that as well. Because it's important that you understand that these things are true, because they are true. Like, you can make anything out of cannabis. You can make plastic, you can make material, you can make structures. They're doing hempcrete now, which my mate is doing, which is breeze blocks made out of hemp for insulation.
Yeah.
Same thing. The amount of paper you can get off a cannabis plant is less than you can get off a tree, but the amount of time that it takes to grow a cannabis plant is so much less that it makes more paper overall than a tree. Just so many little facts about cannabis as to why it's brilliant and why why it should just be used all the time. And when you read them, you just think, this is insane.
If it's so great, why isn't it used all the time?
Because apparently there's a number of reasons, but one of them is to do with a wood pulp paper machine that somebody invented, and because it was wood pulp paper and it was against cannabis, they created that whole myth about black people smoking it and going mad and just being lazy and da-da-da-da-da, so that nobody would smoke it, and they banned it because of that, so that they could make money out of this wood pulp paper machine. So there's lots of reasons, but I think that's one of them. Yeah, I'll get a load of facts on it, but it's true. It's the same as like if we did religion, when they talk about gays being bad and stuff.
Yeah.
In the same place where it says gays are bad, it says don't eat pork. So loads of people that are standing there going, oh, it's not right, it's not natural, blah, 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 gay shouldn't be allowed, it says so in the Bible. It says it right above where you're not allowed to mix two different kinds of thread.
Oh, you can't be mixing your threads.
Well, that's what God says. And these people are all standing there having a go at gays whilst wearing, mixed poly-cotton fabrics.
Well, because people cherry-pick what they want to believe.
That's the point, isn't it? That's why if you've got all the rules, where somebody gives you all the facts, then if you find yourself in an argument with one of those kind of people, you can kick all of that out. Whereas if you don't know that stuff, it makes it seem like they know more about the Bible than you do, which they don't.
Because I don't think you can follow every rule in the Bible.
Well, no, but that's because we're not Christians.
No, but if you really tried, I reckon it'd be very difficult.
I don't think it would be that difficult.
I was thinking the other day, vegans, right? Are they allowed to eat like non-organic stuff?
You mean like plastic?
No, like non-organic vegetables. Because, like, obviously, if you grow vegetables that are not organic, lots of insects get killed.
Not only insects. Joe Rogan was talking about this with what's his name, Ted Nugent, and the amount of small animals that get shot and killed in order to produce lentils and beans and stuff like that far outweighs what it would be if you were just to kill a deer and eat that or whatever.
But so do vegans only eat organic? Because if it's not organic, it's not really vegan, is it?
I don't know. You get into technicalities with the vegans.
Do they eat bread because yeast is alive?
Yeah, well, these are technical. I think the vegans they just want to not eat animals, and people pull them up on these technicalities. Oh, you can't be a vegan, but they're just trying. They're just trying, Nadine.
That was something that I thought about this week, anyway.
I'd much rather eat lab meat.
Lab meat.
Yeah, stuff that's been made in a laboratory.
Yeah, I'd be well up for that.
The only thing that
I don't like. You
can
make really big like chicken breasts and stuff, can't you?
It's all about what other people get. Like I wouldn't like to stop eating meat and then discover that there's a rich elite that are eating meat.
Oh, that'd be gutting, wouldn't it?
See, that'd annoy me the most. Or that you're in a position now where you can eat meat, and say 30 years in the future you won't be able to. So now I'm just going to eat as much meat as I can.
Yeah, I really like eating meat. It's just really tasty, isn't it?
I don't know. I like mash.
I'm not a massive mash fan. Oh yeah, what I was going to say about eating less carbs. Instead of having sausage and mash and gravy the other day, that was what I wanted. I replaced the mash with stuffing.
Was that better?
It was really good. I think I might do that again. The sausage, stuffing and gravy.
But I'm sure that if you didn't get used to it, you wouldn't give a shit. Like if I didn't eat meat from the beginning, I wouldn't care. It's just purely routine, isn't it? You go, I eat this because I eat this. Like I bought a load of sausages the other day that were on sale in Asda, and I told you this, didn't I? And they were cheaper, even though they were like 70% less fat. And in my mind, because they're 70% less fat, they're not going to taste as nice. So I sort of shun them when I go to the freezer. But now what I started doing is I start eating like 4 sausages, and I eat like 2 of them, which are the fat ones, and the 2 of them, which are the non-fat ones, and I can't tell the difference. They even look the same. And then I think to myself, it's purely my own bias which is putting me off eating these sausages. And if they were vegetarian sausages, I probably wouldn't notice that either, really.
Vegetarian sausages are banging.
No, Joe said that some of the corn ones are really nice. It's just they cost like £8 for 2 or something, don't they?
I've had those Linda McCartney ones. Kerry used to really like them. They taste like corned beef to me.
I like corned beef.
Oh, right.
Do you know they don't serve corned beef pasties in England?
You what?
They don't serve corned beef pasties in England.
Why?
They just don't. It's only in Wales. No, they don't.
Of course they do.
They have Cornish pasties, but you can't buy like a flat pasty. They don't know what they are. They think you're mad. It's like you're talking to them about spam or something.
Do you mean the ones in Greggs? Because Greggs is a northern thing. It came from the north, and you can get a corned beef pasty in Greggs in England.
Well, we'll have to check that out and clear that up next week as well.
If anybody's listening from England, could you just check if you can buy a corned beef pasty in Greggs or anywhere else? It doesn't have to be Greggs, just England.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was like because I think it's just in Wales they eat it.
No, it's not.
Well, I'll have to check that out, won't I?
Yeah, should we clear that up now? I'll have a Google.
Facts. What facts have you got about trees?
Trees never die of old age.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, trees is our specialist subject this week. And trees never die of old age. It's always disease or They get chopped down or whatever, but never die of old age. Moon trees, right, are a thing. Seeds were taken up to the moon in 1971 and brought back to Earth to be germinated, and to see how they grew compared to other same trees whose seeds hadn't been taken to the moon. And guess what? They grew exactly the same.
Oh, good.
Yeah, pine cones have genders.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah, only 2 though. They're not very progressive. The widest tree...
You say that, there might be a pine cone sitting around going, I don't feel like a pine cone, I feel like an acorn. Why isn't there a category for me?
Maybe, but I don't think they're sentient and they don't talk, so it's probably not doing that. But it's a fun
you don't
thought.
know that, do you?
No, I don't. I'll go and ask one. Next time I see pinecone, I'll ask it.
Do it.
I say, what do you think of all these people covering you in glitter at Christmas and put you on display in their houses? How do you think about that? I'll ask them. The widest tree is called the... I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's... Well, it's the widest tree, and it's native to Africa. And they're rumoured to live 1,500 years, although that's very much disputed. And they go by different names, such as the dead rat tree and the monkey bread tree.
Oh, I read earlier.
Baobab, whatever.
For 90% of our existence on the planet, there have been no trees.
No trees?
No. For 90% of the planet.
90% of the planet's existence?
Yeah, 90% of the planet's history, I think it is.
There's
Prior
been
to
no
that,
trees.
they were large fungi.
That's actually not that. If you, yeah, that's probably not that incredible.
It's quite incredible to me.
My favourite tree is the giant redwood tree. There's one with a road running through it. Well, there's more
I've
than
seen
one,
that,
actually.
yeah. Have you seen those trees that have got have you seen that picture of a tree that's got a bike attached to it?
Oh, that sort of grew around the back and lifted it up.
Around the
Yeah,
bike
I've
tree,
seen
and I
that.
thought that was quite cool.
But the giant redwood trees are cool as.
Trees receive an estimated 90% of their nutrition of the atmosphere and only 10% from the soil. Trees grow from the top, not from the bottom, as is commonly believed. A branch location on the tree will only move up the trunk a few inches in 1,000 years. No tree... Oh, yeah, that's your one. There are about 20,000 tree species in the world. The United States has one of the largest tree treasures, second only to India. The largest area of forest in the tropics remains the Amazon basin, account to 81.5 million acres. Quite a lot.
That's a lot of trees.
I
wonder what's in that forest that we haven't discovered yet. I bet there's loads of stuff.
Knocking on wood for good luck originated from primitive tree worship, and rapping on the trees was believed to summon protective spirits in the trees. Or maybe I'll go and do that.
You made those little doors, didn't you, for the trees? Little fairy doors.
Yeah. I thought, see, that was another idea that I thought was brilliant, and then I looked
And
on
it
the
was
internet,
brilliant.
there was millions of them.
Yeah, but it was
that had already happened.
nice that you did that.
Yeah, it looked nice, it looked weird.
Yeah, he made little fairy doors and he put them on trees so that the kids were leaving school would see them and think that fairies had moved in.
Well, I only did the one door, but it was a good door. It wasn't like a little piece of tin. It was like proper sort of made door, like a Harry Potter-esque small door in the side of a tree. Because the tree was shaped in that way, which is what made me think of it. So when he did it, it added to it, rather than I just found a tree and shoved the door on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's quite cool.
But I thought that was a nice idea.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. Well, it turns out it wasn't mine. Loads of people have been doing it for years.
But it was original to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Trees can induce rainfall by cooling the land and transpiring the water into the sky from their leaves. An acre of maple trees can put as much as 20,000 gallons of water into the air each day.
Wow.
In California, a tree still stands with a legible inscription carved into it from 1849 by the pioneers blazing paths into California during the gold rush. The inscription reads 49 Road.
That's cool.
I suppose so. I like weeping willow trees, but I think that's just because they hang down.
And I wrote a little thing about weeping willows because I did my favourite tree, which is a giant redwood, and I had a look for facts about weeping willows specifically. There wasn't really anything other than a weeping willow is an ornamental tree, but I did find out that weeping willows is a Swedish pop rock group.
Oh, they don't sound very good.
Well, what's not very good about a Swedish pop rock group called the Weeping Willows?
Well, apart from the fact that they're pop rock and they're called weeping willows.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna listen to some weeping willows, but I didn't get around to it.
I'd like to buy a weeping willow tree, but I think they need to be around a lot of water. They need to be by like a lake or a pond or something like that in order for them to grow. And then I'd run through it in my mind, and it's probably like £500. I go, do I really want to spend £500 on a tree, which by the time it reaches awesome weeping willowness, I'll already have died.
I'll have already been dead.
Yeah.
No, you probably don't want to do that. Also, you don't have a lake, do you?
No. But I mean, if you could get one that didn't have to be by a lake, then I would consider buying one, and I'd sit under this tree.
You could buy a mature one, couldn't you, and have it?
That'd be a lot of effort, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but so would be digging out a lake. Do you have room for a lake?
No. These facts are rubbish, these other ones. Trees provide food and shelter for wildlife. No.
Don't stand under one in a storm. What day is it today, Rob?
It's Sunday, isn't it?
It is. And did you know that it's novel writing month? November is novel writing month, so maybe we should all write some novels.
Somebody told me this week that in Saudi, the days of the week are the same, but their Monday is Saturday.
What?
Yeah, but I could have misheard them, because I mishear a lot of things.
Yeah. The 19th of November is the start of Alcohol Awareness Week. So you've got to be aware of your alcohol. And novel writing month. But I'm not going to have time to write a novel.
Oh, I'd love to write a novel.
I ain't got time for that shit, Rob.
I had a friend who came out of
embroidery.
prison and nobody would give him a job, so he started writing sex novels on lesbians and made loads of money.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We both tried writing erotica, didn't we?
Yeah, but it was too late already by that point, he said. By that point, they'd already changed it so that the way that you were paid for your book or something had changed. But when he did it, it was literally people just going on and buying the book, and he made loads of money.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you're forced into it if you've just come out of prison and you've got no money and nobody will give you a job.
Well, yeah, you got to make your own job, haven't you?
Yeah. He was telling me, he said, the best thing is lesbians, Rob. Write about lesbians. I was like, oh, what do I write? He was like, lesbian stuff. He was right casual about it. 3 pages, don't write like a whole novel, blah, 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 such and such comes in, does this, it's really erotic, somebody does this, end of. 3 pages.
Sounds really hot, Rob.
Yeah, he didn't muck around. He'd written hundreds of books as well.
Well, like compilations of short stories.
Yeah, because nobody wants to read, why Jennifer is driving her car to a mountain. They don't want to know any of that, What's her personality like? They don't care. They just want Jennifer walks in, Carol drops her towel. That's how it starts.
Carol's got amazing boobies.
Yeah, that's the first line. The important thing, Rob, is the first line. Carol's got amazing boobies.
And loves to get them out for the ladies.
And the last line, phew, let's do that again. That's what he was really casual about it, the way he did it. You get a good picture off of the internet, you stick it on, you make it look erotic, you sell it. Boom. Bosh, done.
That's a good tip. I think I might, because I started my erotic novel, but I got about 3 paragraphs in, it just turned into chicklet. I was like, oh, this isn't steamy at all.
Oh, Jessica's writing about embroidery. This is 7 pages so far. I think I've got into too much detail on the cross stitching.
Edit that down. But yeah, it was not erotic at all, or well written. When I was looking at the days of the week, I did remember. Do you remember in work we tried to come up with our own day to celebrate? I can't remember what it was, but I remember we put a lot of thought into it and what traditions we were going to do. What was it? Something to do with a wheelbarrow?
A wheelbarrow full of sweets.
Yeah.
What it was I was going to do it for the children because I thought, because they've got no idea,
yeah,
we could just tell them it was like a Bulgarian thing from our grandmother and lots of people in Bulgaria. And then they would just think of it as commonplace, and then they'd be in school with their kids and they'd go, wow, it's August the 20th tomorrow, and people would be like, what happens on August the 20th? It's when the felucca comes from the garden and brings the wheelbarrow of sweets. You've heard of that, haven't you? People would come around to our house and we'd have like a wheelbarrow in the middle of the house just full of sweets just piled up and some other bizarre things. They wouldn't have any idea. They just think it was commonplace. Come on now, kids, it's time to balance the Brussels sprouts on our heads.
As is tradition.
Yeah. Do you remember old Grandpa Joe? Remember? He balanced 4 on his head. Remember that? World record. be telling their friends in school, Grandpa Joe, have you not heard of him? He's the Brussels sprout balancer. He's world renowned.
We should come up with a new one.
Oh, my kids are too old now. They know that it wasn't a thing. They know that it was just Dad being weird. Being weird again.
He's making us make our own labels for shit as well.
That's what she said to me today. She said, "Where's my new ketchup label?" And I'm not on the ketchup, Daddy. I want to be on the ketchup.
That's class.
Yeah, I haven't even mentioned that I'm dressed as a ninja.
No, he hasn't.
Did that change the atmosphere?
It did a little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You have to listen back to this podcast now and picture me as a ninja. A ninja with a bad leg, so I'm not doing any stunts or anything like that.
Just sat in your chair, smoking rollies.
That's right.
Dressed as a ninja.
Like a ninja.
I like your swords and everything you brought with you today as well.
Yeah, and my stars. Yeah. I don't know what I'll dress up as next week. Could be anything. Maybe a clown.
Ooh.
For all those people that are scared of clowns, like twats.
Shall I dress up next week?
Yeah.
Yeah? As a clown?
Yeah, we'll both come as clowns, and then when people listen to it, they can be scared.
You know what? Next week's topic is clowns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it on clowns. I like clowns.
Yeah, let's do it on clowns. And we'll both dress up head to toe, full-on clown outfits, yeah?
Do you know what I reckon, though, right?
What?
Just before that whole clown thing kicked off where people were dressing up as clowns, I had that idea. I was going to go out in the night and dress up as a clown and scare people. Obviously, I wasn't going to do it. I can't be asked. But but then it kicked off, so it must have been...
You mean the killer clown craze?
Yeah. Because I think there must have been something that happens, like on a TV programme that we all watch, and it kicks a thought into everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, around that time, you'd not long had American Horror Story with the clown guy in it, and It was being promoted a lot as well, the remake of It.
No, it was before that. It was a while before that. No, I think, and I don't think it's something like that. You know, like they tried to do that, didn't they? They tried to work it out as to what it is. I think it's going to be something stupid, like you might be watching Coronation Street or something, and somebody will say something to somebody else, and that'll trigger an idea in you. And out of the population of people that it triggers the idea of, say there are 1 million people. No, well, say there are how many people are in Britain? Say there are 60 million people in Britain. Yeah, out of that 60 million people, that idea is triggered in say 10 million of them. Out of those 10 million people, 2 million people start to action it. You know, and then after that 2 million people, you know, 1,000 of them actually get something done in that particular vein. I'm sure it happens like that, because every time I think of something, a couple of months later, it'll happen, and you just think, well, it must be one of them collective ideas that hits everybody. Right, anyway, so thanks for listening to our podcast again. Podcast number 8, it's about trees.
Yay!
If you like trees, 7 or 8 facts in there. And next week, we're going to do some other subject. We're going to do clowns.
Clowns, yeah.
And then I'm going to dress up as a clown. You know, you can't see us.
I'm going to dress up as a clown. And we'll have to decide whose clown outfit's best. Obviously, your ninja outfit's better than mine, because I didn't dress up as a ninja. You didn't tell me we were dressing up as ninjas. No, but next week, that means that people, when they listen to the clown program, they can think about it from the beginning and be scared. These clowns talking to me now. Yeah. You know, and I might not be a creepy clown. I haven't decided yet.
I think all clowns are creepy by those people that are scared of clowns. I don't think you can get round it. So...
Maybe a hobo clown.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll be a sad clown.
Oh.
Just by the nature of dressing up as a clown.
Yeah.
Who's that bloke? He's dressed as a clown. How sad. What a tragic individual.
There's a film called Clown about a guy that puts on a clown outfit, right, and then he can't get it off, and it starts making him go a little bit crazy. It's the most random film, but at one point, the only way he can end this is by killing himself. That's the decision he's decided. The decision is decided. Oh, I'm really not with it today. Anyway, at one point he decides to shoot himself in the head, right? And the blood splatter behind him on the tiles is rainbows. It's a rainbow-coloured blood splatter. It's really good.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's a really random film. It's like I think it's on Netflix.
The best clown is Bill Murray in Quick Change.
Don't know it.
Like
Let's not talk about clowns now. Let's save it for next week when the specialist subject is clowns. Okay,
right. Well, then there you go. So that's that then. Thanks very much for listening. It's good. Glad. Right. Bye then.
See you next week. You can also like Full of Waffle on Facebook. It's all one word, Full of Waffle. Give it a like. listen to everything because it's all amazing.
Or just subscribe directly on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you can do that as well. All the links are on
Because
the
we
Facebook
still,
page.
I say we, haven't worked out how to get a web page or any of that yet.
I've been looking at that Lisbon thing.
Even though there's somebody
really
that's
good.
part-time in our team that does nothing
I'm
all
a full-time mother though,
day. Yeah, you say that.
an embroiderer.
Well, the sooner we get that sorted out, the sooner it'll be done. You can just add to it then, can you?
Yeah.
And that'll be brilliant. And then people will be able to download it as an actual podcast rather than have to watch what shitty pictures I put up along with these YouTube things.
I like the shitty pictures.
Yeah, but they're not mine. I'm sure somebody will come along at some point and say, "You haven't credited me for my picture of a man holding a balloon." Like, I didn't know who you were. You just randomly took some pictures. Well, I think my picture is benefiting your podcast. I think people are listening to your podcast just to be able to see my picture of a man with a balloon. And now you either have to pay me this amount of money or you have to take it down. And I'm like, oh, then I have to re-edit the whole thing. Well, that's your own tough shit, mate.
If that happens, just delete the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just put the picture of me
Yeah.
over that bit there. Right, anyway,
Yay!
thanks for listening.
See you next week. Bye.